Good day, folks, and welcome back to Allergic to Stupidity. I realize this is the second one today, which is fine. And I just literally downloaded the other one. And as I was waiting for my video on we're all family, let's stick together kind of mentality, I was reading my tablet, waiting for it to download. And I found this really cool article, and it's written by David Frum, who is the son of a Canadian journalist for CBC and very much conservative. Always knew the Frums were conservatives. That's not a problem. But Diefenbaker kind of conservatives versus the far right conservatives we're seeing these days. And what it says is, and I just thought I'm going to read some of it. And it says literally, when U.S. breaks its treaties. Now this was written February the 5th, so the start of all of Donald Trump's silliness. Only China wins. And it's, excuse me while I put my sight on. Round one of Donald Trump's trade war has come to an inglorious end. The United States has suspended its threats against Canada and Mexico in return for border enforcement measures that Canada and Mexico either were doing anyways or had done before without making much difference in the flow of traffic. American tariffs hurt Americans. This is written by David Frum. And you can actually get him on YouTube if you look him up. He's quite often interviewed in podcasts. He's quite interesting to listen to. President Donald Trump always insists that tariffs are paid by the foreigners. We all know that's not true. And they put free money into the U.S. Treasury. Trump's week-long tariff war confirmed that no one else in the United States government or in the American business believes him. National Association of Home Builders published a letter to the president predicting that his tariffs would raise the cost of housing construction. Automotive stocks slumped because investors expected Trump's tariffs to add thousands of dollars to the cost of. And it goes on. And I don't have a complete membership to the Atlantic. So just, I gotta see if that's going. You should be able to see that. That's with the Atlantic, okay? So, here are the comments from those people. One is the emperor has no clothes, and now more than half the American population is running around naked. Remember, you get the government you pay for, you voted for. The next one is by Joy Thompson. I know South Africa is a small blip on everybody's radar, but the damage he'll do in our country too by removing assistance for meds for HIV and other medical assistance and other types of funding that Biden negotiated in 2022 for South Africa will decimate an already struggling country. Hundreds of thousands will die. We already have an unemployment rate of above 32%. I can't imagine what this will be like here in a couple of years. Jessica says, trust? You just kicked your closest ally and trade partner in the face in front of the whole world. Good luck. Somebody from Canada says, I can tell you as a Canadian and seeing a lot of hate coming from Americans on some groups I used to follow, I am quite shocked and hurt that so many people seem to turn against our country in pursuit of Trump's hate game. And somebody's comment to that person says, they believe his lies about us. The U.S. has been subsidizing us and we give. Yeah. So, and we give nothing in return. I never understood why they believe everything he says when he's obviously morally corrupt. Another one, turning Americans against Canada is probably part of Trump's administrative strategy to gain support for annexing Canada. Canadians have to continue to build ties with those that voted against him and those who didn't vote, out of naivety, lack of knowledge, or otherwise. The latter may be starting to wake up. Americans need to very quickly organize and activate a powerful citizen-based resistance movement before it's too late. Do it now. This is going to take courage and possible sacrifice, and those American friends need our encouragement. So if any Americans are reading this, you are distraught by what's happening in your country, you have our support. Strength in numbers. My only comment to that is some part of me thinks, a big part of me hopes that's true. A big part of me is hoping this can turn around, but I'm afraid they're going down the same tunnel. And I read somewhere else that said, it was a German going, yeah, this is 1938 all over again, only it's a different country. Uh, Canadians have long memories. This one, Americans are focused on what's happening in their neck of the woods. We know less about what is going on. They know less about what is going on elsewhere in the world because their view does not extend past their closest Walmart. Those who do venture out of the United States are going to feel a new cold chill in the air. They will now be further despised thanks to the actions of their presidents, and they will carry the paltry results and the stench of his actions around like a bad smell. That will take decades to wash off. Zero trust with Canadians. What he forgets as he builds his tariff wall is that all of us can continue to enjoy mutually beneficial trade, global trade with each other, and simply avoid products from the United States. He seems to think Canada and the other countries will continue to import products from the United States, but we do have a lot of options. At this point, I would literally rather do without something than buy from the United States. I tell the store manager what I'm looking for. How long do you think retailers are going to continue buying American products that just sit there and rot? Tariffs would be destructive as hell, but my spending habits have already changed and I'm not going back. One gentleman, to be blunt, the Americans can go feck themselves. This is exactly how I typed it. They have always been I'm all right and screw everyone else type of people. Narcissistic people are never going to see outside themselves, and they've proven themselves thus. But sorry, eh? Now, when he says that, those are narcissistic people are those ones that are die-hard MAGAs. They think they're 100% right, and that they honestly believe everything he says. So when he sits there and says, those countries are going to pay tariffs, no. Now, one of those phrases that's been getting glitched, and I'm glad to see Doug Ford has clarified, is the electricity going down to those 3 states. People were at first coining it as a tariff. It is not a tariff. Because that would be the Americans importing our hydro and paying a tariff to their own government. This is a surcharge. So as it goes down, these are just examples, for every kilowatt hour, they're already paying $1. I'm just numbers, just thing, paying $1. Now the surcharge is going to make it $1.25 per kilowatt hour. All right. So there is a difference between a surcharge. A surcharge is us charging it to you and we get to keep the money. Tariff is your government has put a tariff on a product being imported. You're paying that extra money to your own government. So there is a difference. And they need to make a point of clarifying the difference between a tariff and a surcharge. What Doug Ford is suggesting is literally a surcharge on the hydro going to the U.S. Now, as I can't see through the hair, the advantage to that is that we didn't cut off the hydro, so you don't have umpteen million people without hydro. But it's sending the message to those states. Some lady who has a Ukrainian flag as her icon. Frankly, I'm beginning to have more trust in China than the United States. China has laid out all its plans for the world to see, while the USA sneaks in behind and stabs its biggest trading partners and closest allies in the back. Somebody did make a comment about China having an amazing educational system, but talking to Chinese students and Chinese delegates who are over here with their kids, they're going, it's not that great. Because it's all pure memorization. It's all pure drill. Because I will give critical thinking questions and the kids will look at me going, huh? 5 plus 5 is 10. Yeah, but why is it that, right? They can't. So when you're applying it to business, they struggle with being able to do the critical thinking because it is pure drill. And one of the things that keeps coming up here and is applicable to us with this election coming up for Canada is it says the number of people who didn't vote. Because everybody honestly thought Kamala Harris, the Democrats, are going to win, so I don't need to vote. And my vote's not going to make a difference. Your vote is going to make a difference. And there was an election eons ago, I think 2000, where oh shoot, I can see the man, I can't remember, who was going for the U.S. And literally it was 10 votes difference between him and he was a Democrat, and it was 10 votes between him and the Republican who won, which was Bush. So your vote does matter. It really, really does matter, especially when you have a two-tier system like they have in the United States. When we've got 4 or 5, or France has even more, sometimes you can honestly think, it doesn't matter because I'm voting for the little tiny party. But your vote matters. So you're going to hear this a lot in the next 6 weeks. I think it's 5.5 weeks. Please get out and vote. Don't tell anybody else how to vote, because that's their business. But get out and vote. Make your vote count. At least you know, as I've said, and my brother-in-law has said, if you don't vote, you can't complain about the politics. You can't complain about the economy because you didn't do your bit. Now, he doesn't vote, and he says, that's why I don't talk politics. He said, because I've got no right to talk politics. Anyways, I just thought that was really, I really like that. Now, the other one I wanted to comment on, I don't think it's here. There we go. We won! We won! We won! This was off on the Pacific Ocean outside of San Francisco. And last time I mentioned them yesterday, they had passed the French, so they won that round, but they won one. So 3 cheers to our guys. I think there's even a girl there. Female there. So there you go. We'll see you guys. Take care.